Za slušanje loše muzike morali da čekate koncert Jelene Karleuše. A sad možete da... Festival će se održati 8. oktobra i izgleda da se u Srbiji sve budalaštine dešavaju u oktobru. Sad kako sam čuo... Čuo sam da će na taj koncert doći i dosta penzionera, jer ko preživi 90 ima velike šanse da uživi 100, normalno. Festival će vjerojatno imati neka pravila, na primjer, ko ne dođe upasan, bit će isprangijan. Posetioci ne smiju da nesu više od 2 kašikare po osobi, to je limit. I specijalni popust za posetioce krigla piva samo 17 milijardi dinara starih. Nevjerojatna ponuda. Sad ja sam čuo da će u okviru festivala biti održan izbor za mis mokre trenerke. I kad je čuo za ovaj festival i Gianni Versace je rešio da dođe lično, kaže, nikakve formalnosti ga neće sprečiti. Nikakve. U sklopu programa Volim 90. čak i Mira Marković ponovo traži predsjedničku penziju svog muža. Čak i ja. I ja sigurno neću ići na ovaj festival, jer se plašim da me ne mobilišu. A kako sam sreće, završio bih Hrvatsku garantu. I sad, da me ne sjetite pogrešno, nije baš da mrzim 90. Ja i dan danas volim da se osamim u svojim kolima i na miru uživam u muzici 90. Na miru. A večeras nešto sasvim drugačije od 90-ih. Bryan Ferry, dame i gospodo, ovdje kod nas. Okej, pre nego što dođe naš fenomenalni gost večeras, spremili smo jednu rubriku vezanu za 90-te. Dakle, vjerojatno ste primetili da sam ja blago negativno nastrojen prema tom festivalu. Holcim, naši sponzori, hvala im. Dakle, spremili smo rubriku vezanu za 90-te. Šta bi naše javne ličnosti, šta bi oni rekli o 90-im da smo ih, na primjer, pitali? U stvari, mi smo ih pitali, vidjet ćemo ostalom, pročitat ćemo. Ajde, da vidimo. Boža Đelić, 90-te, tad sam bio mali. Nenad Čanak, 90-ih sam bio pola čoveka, imao sam samo 90 kila. Milo Đukanović, sećam se tih 90-ih nejasno, kao kroz dim od cigarete. Toma Nikolić, ne volim 90-te, tad sam bio opozicija. Ognjen Amidžić, 90-ih sam prepisivao samo u školi. Milutin Mrkonjić, 90-ih sam bio na pola puta da završim koridor 10 pre roka. Nataša Bekvalac, ne volim 90-te zbog pesme Dačo, volim te. Ivica Dačić, ne volim 90-te, tada nisam bio okej. Čeda Jovanović, volim 90-te, tad sam bio okej. I Jovan Krkobabić, jel to pitate za 800 ili za 990? Mada on pamti i 790, ali dobro, šta sad da se radi. Dakle, konačno je vreme za našeg fantastičnog gosta, još jedna svetska zvezda posle Stinga, koja nam je pričinila zadovoljstvo i došla u naš studio. Samo za razliku od Stinga, Bryan Ferry će malo i da svira i da peva, u stvari on će peva, ovi će da sviraju, ali sve ćete to vidjeti već za nekoliko sekundi. Bryan Ferry!
There must be some star, I don't know. But usually we don't get so much.
Okay, Mr. Ferry, welcome to my show.
Thank you.
It's a big pleasure to have you here in the studio.
It's a pleasure to be back in Belgrade.
Oh, yeah, it's your third time, I think, yes?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So, but it's first time in Belgrade Arena. It's a big space.
Yeah.
Did you see it already? Or?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Oh, it's huge. You will love it, I'm sure.
So I hope they'll all be coming tomorrow.
I hope, yes. Hoćete doći na koncert? Hoćete. Actually, I'm selling tickets. So,
you're selling tickets?
Yeah.
You're the dealer.
Yeah, The host is on the vacation, so I'm selling tickets, and today I'm working here. The reason for your coming is concert tour, which is called Olympia, based on your last album.
Yeah.
And as far as I know, the name for the album comes from the paint of Claude Monet that you loved during your studies, if I'm not wrong.
It's the Edouard Manet picture, but the real reason we call the album Olympia is because my studio is in Olympia in London. It's a part of London on the west side, and that's where I go to work every day. And there's a big building called the Olympia Building next door to my studio. But when I gave the title to the album, I thought, oh well, an inspiration for the cover would be the Edouard Manet painting from the 19th century, which is a beautiful woman on a bed, and so we used that as an inspiration, and we did our modern version of it with Kate Moss, the famous model.
Yeah, we know Kate Moss. we heard about it. Yeah. And tell me, I have some names here that worked with you on the album, and it's David Stewart from Eurythmics, Bryan Eno, Phil Manzera and Andy McKay of Foxy Music, and we have Johnny Greenwood from Radiohead, David Gilmour, which you worked with in the past. Did I miss somebody? Or?
Oh, you missed lots of people. Marcus Miller, all these guys, of course.
Yeah.
A lot of people played on it because the album was done over quite a period of time, so people would drift in and out of the project, and there's some great musicians. I'm very lucky to know.
But you do this
so many people.
A few times. You performed with how do you call it, a super band, or when you collect known musicians and you collect a band then and you play with them. You already did that in Live Aid, if I'm right.
Yeah, Live Aid in
there were some troubles with microphone and
yeah, we had problems, but I think everybody did that day. It was
I think
the
so.
first of those big
Was
concerts.
it worse than here, or was it worse than here in studio?
Just a little bit, yeah.
Just a little bit worse. Okay. What happened? David Gilmour had a problem with the guitar. The microphone died.
I remember that, David Gilmour's guitar wasn't working for the first one or two songs, and then Andy Newmark, who's actually with us tonight here on drums, he broke his drum skill on the first song.
Strong guy. Don't do it tonight, please.
Don't do it tonight. And that was one. And the microphone wasn't working as well, so it was.
So how did you manage? How do you manage in these situations? It's quite.
You just try and smile through it.
So does your smile help?
Yeah. Well, sometimes it
Do you
gets
have a
me
secret
out of
with
tricky
smile?
situations.
Can I buy the secret from you?
No.
Because when I smile, it doesn't help.
I'm sure it does.
Well, maybe with few girls from the first line, but it's not on the global level like with you. Anyhow, when you came to the TV station, all the ladies went crazy. I don't know if you felt it. Or...
Well, what can I say?
Yeah,
I was very flattered.
You did? Yeah. You're not tired from that? I mean...
no, people always want attention, and it's nice to,
do you still enjoy
in
being such a famous star all around the world?
It has its moments. I mean, sometimes you can get a good table in a restaurant. That kind of thing is good. The drawbacks really are when sometimes the pressure of being followed and stuff, paparazzi and that kind of thing. Sometimes it's tough, but I've managed most of my life to try and keep separate, my private life from the,
Are you managing?
Life
because it's not so easy, especially today with internet and all the stuff.
Yeah, it's very difficult. It's, but I do my best, and I seem to have a bit of a life as well. Although this year we're on tour all the time.
Yes.
Did shows in January in London, England, and then in February in Australia. Then we've been touring all over Europe, France, Italy, Scandinavia.
Do you go somewhere after Belgrade, or it's?
Yeah, the next place is Budapest.
Budapest.
And then we have a show in Strasbourg. And then the next show is in Miami the following week.
Oh, that's nice.
In America. We start our American tour. That should be fun.
And there is one more information. It's 40 years on the stage this year, am I right?
Yeah, next year, I think.
Next year? Yeah, they say on internet like 1971 was your beginning.
They're lying a bit. 72 is when the first album came out.
First album.
71 we were rehearsing. We were practicing. Yeah.
So how do you see it now after 40 years comparing to those rehearsals? What specifically changed for these 40 years? Are you still loving music in the same way?
Yeah.
Are you still good friends like you used to be? Or?
Yeah, well, I love making music. Yeah, it's been my life, and since I was 10 years old, I was a music fan, you know, and it was great to be able to, do it myself. And it's been great having two careers as well, you know, sometimes running at the same time. One with the band with Roxy Music, and then with my solo projects, which are now my main part of my career.
Once you said that being in a band is like being in a marriage with a complicated woman.
It's much worse.
Much worse. Can you give us some nice stories, some example of that?
Yeah, it's just sometimes tough being with the same people all the time. This band, of course, is perfect. So
oh yeah, these are the best guys in the world. Yeah. But there is a lot of you.
Yeah, it's a very big band because I have a very large repertoire to choose from. So it's great to have, you know, so many great musicians on stage. At the last count, yesterday there were, I think, 14 of us or 15 on
14,
stage.
I heard 14 on the stage.
Yeah.
We couldn't manage here, so it's...
Now, this is a good representation of it.
These are the best examples of the band.
Yeah.
So
and last night we played in, where was it, Bucharest. Yeah. And before that we were in Poland and Russia. Yeah, it's been a great tour, but I'm very happy to be back in Belgrade.
Yeah, Belgrade loves you. You probably know that. Yeah. I remember your first concert in Belgrade, and it was a big sensation because you are one of the first famous singers and stars that visited Belgrade after some problems that we had in this country.
Well, we all have our problems.
Yes, of course. Yeah. And Belgrade really loved it, and people spoke about it for weeks, and you really made them feel powerful and special.
This time it's going to be better. So.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be better because at the end we will hear from you some performance, but we'll speak about that later. I want to ask you, what is your favorite period of time of your career? 70s, 80s, 90s?
There's several periods I like. You know, in every life and career you have ups and downs and good and bad moments. And the first 2 years were fantastic. When I started with Roxy Music, that was really exciting. 72, 73. And then I think around 82, when we did Avalon album, that was a good period as well. But the last 5 years have been great also. And we're still on an upswing.
So you're still on the up.
This is the third good period.
Okay, I hope that your down will not come soon, you know.
Yeah, I hope so as well,
keep it up all the time.
I'm sure.
And what I want to ask you is definitely about the ladies. I must ask you this question because...
Here we go.
No, I found some deals preparing myself for the show, you know, and it's like in 1986, I think you said, or somebody wrote about you, that you've been with 5,000 women.
Me?
Yeah.
7, I think.
And then I read something that says, the older I get, the less I understand women.
Well, that's probably true. I think women are very mysterious creatures, and the more you know, the more complicated they seem to be.
So, can you give us some advice? We shouldn't be with as much women because it will not help us to understand them.
I think that's probably very good advice, yeah.
Yeah, but do you do that only to get more women for you, or it's just real advice for us? Probably yes, huh? Okay, cool. I will not ask you anything more about the women, you know? But anyhow, women loves you, and that's very nice.
Well, that's a great thing, yeah. I mean, where would we be without them, eh?
Yeah, probably in some good place.
Yeah.
You never know. The musicians that you loved during your life and during your career, Otis Redding,
so many. Otis Redding and all the Tamla Motown people as well. A lot of R&B music. Hendrix, of course, is a genius. I saw him play. I saw Otis Redding play. I was very lucky to see a lot of great people. Before that, I loved a lot of jazz and blues as well.
You said once that to like the music, it must be electric guitars, that you love that sound.
Yeah, I do. And we've got a great... we've actually got 3 great guitar players, and here's Ollie.
He's good, I heard him.
The star of our guitar section.
Yeah, and tell me about David Bowie said once that you are the best lyric writer in the world, he said.
That's very kind of him.
Yeah. He said it because he's your friend or because it's really true? Because I like your lyrics.
It's because he loves me, I think.
He loves you. Do you love him?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Who are your colleagues that you admire and you respect them, and they've been on the stage with you through all these years?
Well, all the people I've worked with have been great players. There's some people I haven't worked with, like Prince, I really admire. I think he's one of the best people around still.
Does he perform? Because we don't see him in this part.
Oh yes, he does.
He does.
Yeah.
So there's an idea.
He played the same festival as us this summer, actually, in England. And of the new people, I like Lady Gaga. I think she's fun and very visual, you know, kind of.
Oh yeah, she's
amusing.
something brand new.
Yeah, and she's a very good musician also. So.
And let's say in 70s or 80s, you didn't have to do so many other things besides playing and singing.
Yeah.
So how do you see this change? Is it necessary?
Well, the music must always come first, but I always thought from the very beginning of my career that you should try and make the show a good visual presentation. You know, when I saw Otis Redding on the Stax Roadshow, that was really fantastic to look at as well as to listen to. The best players in the world, but they also did it with some pizzazz and flair. You know. So, yeah.
But you always look good on stage, spectacular. You have dancers and your videos was very good when I was a kid. I was watching it and I was always like, oh yeah, this is...
Yeah, we'd like to put on a good show, yeah.
Elvis Presley once said that this is very important because that's what people really want to see on the live performances, that it's...
Oh yeah, otherwise they could just sit at home listening to the record. I think you've got to... performance is great, and it's interesting now that the record business as such has declined because of internet and so on, that people are playing more and more, you know, on tour and so on.
Yes.
And so that's a good thing.
And can you now, how do you see your career now with internet and all the stuff? Did that affect you in some...
Well, it means we now have a website, which is good and interesting, and so we're kind of busier than ever, you know, doing things for that. And
do you have Facebook or Twitter? Or...
Not me, no.
Not you, no?
No.
It's for the new...
My sons have it. I think,
oh, he does.
I think they probably...